Next question from Salvatore. He said, I like this question. He said, who will have the best...
It's got to be Manolas.
No, yeah. Who will have the best defense next season? They just named 3 teams, Napoli, Juve, Inter.
Let's say Inter's Godin, Van Dijk, De Vrij, and Skriniar.
Yeah.
Manolas and Koulibaly. And we'll say De Ligt, Chiellini.
Who's going first? I'm going last.
Inter.
Oh, everybody.
We're rising, it's all worth it. Brothers and sisters, this is where we all belong. The same game we all worship.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Italian Football TV. We finally got another podcast on.
Finally,
A lot has happened in the past week. We got Antonio. Antonio, you look like you're in a little bit of a mood today, but either way, I hope the podcast cheers you up.
Okay.
Are you a little bit mad because of the Donnarumma news?
No, I'm not mad.
You're not mad?
No,
Okay.
I just didn't even know. You just told me right now.
We'll get to that. We got Ludovico back.
Thank you for having me.
Ludo, I'm happy that we were able to get you back now that you're a star.
I know. That's why
Guys,
you have
if
to
you
reserve.
don't know, the last video, he was talking about Sarri's tactics at Juve, and everyone loved Ludo's football brain, and they wanted.
Everyone was going crazy for
that.
that video.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
they
you.
loved
I
it.
apologize for using the word soccer. I know a few people got upset,
yeah,
but from now on, we're going to use the word culture.
There we go. I like that.
Or football.
You know, I saw at least, hundreds of messages, everything positive except one. There was one person who didn't like what you did. And that person's at this table right here. Antonio was not. I showed Antonio your formation that you used and that you didn't feel like Dybala would have a real role under Sarri. And Antonio, you didn't like that.
Absolutely not.
And I think that we have to get, people wanted an Antonio version of this tactics breakdown. What did you think?
Wait a minute. I gave it to you, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
All right. So,
But you didn't give it to the people.
So the Ludovico lives on the fantasy world. So for fantasy soccer, it's good.
Fantacalcio.
Fantacalcio. But when it comes down to actually the real soccer, Ludovico is in La La Land.
Oh, this is a debate over here. This is not a podcast.
You know what?
We're not even a minute in.
Sarri is the last one that I would trust to run a team like Juventus, especially with a lapdog over there of Agnelli.
He's not a maestro?
Nah, by far.
I thought Nedved was a lapdog. There's
That's
2.
what his lapdog. No, it's Sarri's gonna have to just report to the lapdog.
Oh, okay. So there's 2 lapdogs.
I think that there's still a little tension from the last one where he said that Meret was better than Donnarumma. Is that?
I haven't changed my mind.
Have you changed your mind?
Never.
Never. Even if he goes to PSG?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
That's fair.
Peter, you're good?
I'm good.
You're looking good, Pete.
Looking nice for Inter. Things are always looking good for you.
Every time that they look good for Inter, the things that Inter goes down. So.
Oh, it hasn't been true for the past 2 years.
Oh, snap!
Milan?
You said it before you said it before you even
Don't
finished.
forget
Where's Milan?
that with all the money that you spend, you were
You guys spend more money than us.
goal.
You spend more money than us. You
one-
haven't been in Champions League.
A crossbar.
And you cannot even get into Europa
Shut up,
League.
you punk.
Milan's out.
You were 1 goal away to be.
Not even a goal.
Six
You have to
plays.
know.
A crossbar away to be on 6th place. You and that loser of Spalletti. Okay.
Well, Spalletti-
Listen,
crossbar.
Ludo and I were at the Milan Inter game where D'Ambrosio literally saved the shot going in the last minute. So we
That is
thank
true.
D'Ambrosio, who also saved the Empoli's goal.
And then
To
you,
get us
you
through.
enjoy the penalty.
So Sant'Ambrosio is the patron saint of Milan.
You enjoyed
He
the
loves
penalty that
Inter.
was not a penalty,
Why,
right?
of course.
Yeah, of course you enjoyed
Of
that
course.
penalty because
The podcast has started off on a good note. There's a lot of built-up tension, like I said. But there's a lot to talk about. There's Buffon returning to Juventus. There's the U21s, the rise and then the failure of the U21s this summer. There's the women who have been absolutely unbelievable this tournament. And there's the transfer market that's just been insane and finally in favor of the Serie A teams. Have we missed anything? Anything else we're going to cover?
I think we got most of it, but before we jump in all that exciting stuff, we got to talk about our merch. I came in, guys, I'm wearing the Viola Calcio tee that everyone's been talking about. A lot of people want us to bring it, and it's finally here, and Marco's actually wearing the tank top. We're bringing them back on our site, ItalianFootballTV.com. If you want to cop one yourself. We'll have the link in the bio.
We played a tournament this weekend with
that's
Ludovico. Ludovico, you were
we had a
fantastic.
great time.
Good. He was
And guess
very
what?
good.
The only tournament I was not there, they lost. I can't
The
believe
thing
it.
is,
Actually,
once Antonio
Ludo,
came-
Ludo, explain what happened.
We
Bunch
started
of
losing. We
losers.
started losing when you arrived with your
Yeah,
best.
well,
friend.
yeah.
With Red Vespa.
We won 6-0. We won 7-0.
Yeah, we're a bunch of losers.
Then you came and we lost the first game in penalty kicks.
Yeah.
But we still look good with the Viola shirts. We
had a
weren't
great time.
We didn't have you. That's why we didn't win.
Thank
you know, that's the truth.
We're missing a famous player.
I don't know where we want to start. I say we start with the women. Let's start with the women, since to me that's been a huge story. I know when we first started talking about the women, the Women's World Cup that was coming up, we didn't know too much. We didn't know too many players. But I got to say, at least for me, I've got that World Cup fever. Italy came first in their group, a group that was supposed to be the group of death, with Australia being one of the favorites and Brazil both ranked higher than us. But I think that this women's team has embodied everything that's right with what's going on in women's football. The team is fantastic. They're playing good and they're getting results. They just beat China in the first knockout round of the World Cup. And we go on to play Netherlands, right?
Yeah, another
On
one, that's
Saturday.
right. Yep.
Saturday?
9 a.m. New York time. The Italian mentality, and that's what the Mr. Bertolini said, the Italian culture, the Italian nation is not ready for this cultural change that women's soccer is going throughout the world. In Italy, they still believe, oh, women don't belong on a soccer field, they belong in the kitchen. The game is too slow, they're not technical, why do we need to watch them? All this negativity around the Italian football, and that's the Italian mentality in general that needs to change, and that's what these girls are trying to do right now with this World Cup.
Ludo,
Change the mentality.
I'm actually happy you said that because Bonansea, actually, the left winger for that Azzurre, actually said after the game against China, her quote exactly on Instagram was, "Maybe now you'll believe that we're better on the pitch than in the kitchen. We're amongst the 8th best in the world, and we aren't giving anything up."
I agree.
right now."
I totally
So
agree.
they're definitely proving everyone wrong.
It's when 90% of the time here, even at this table or around the soccer world, we talk about that soccer is a business. Nobody loves their shirt anymore. Everybody goes to a different team because of money. And then all of a sudden, a story like this comes out where it fills your heart with emotions, and you watch these girls that are giving 150% and they're fighting for something. And now you, as a person, you say, wow, this is really what soccer is all about. And you start falling in love again with the true aspect of soccer and not just the business side of it. Because these are girls that are looking to prove a point. They want to prove a point, especially in Italy, where the mentality is very
different than the rest.
right, correct.
And even
I will say partially disagree with you, because lately, in the last 2-3 years, if you put the TV on, you see nothing but ladies soccer, as they broadcast on the major channels.
Well,
So,
maybe in Italy,
Yes.
it's starting to change. I think
It's starting to
So
change
it's not just,
because
because of the
women's
World Cup.
soccer,
It's been a few
the
years
teams,
already.
they've been attached to the male teams. Basically, like Fiorentina, Juventus, Torino, all these other teams, they have the female teams as well. But now, up to a certain point, then it drops. Now we need to change the South as well, and not just from Rome and above.
who would you say is the number one football team in the world?
right now,
No, of all time, the most historic team.
yeah, I mean, ladies,
In
ladies
men
or
No.
women?
Overall,
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid.
And they don't have
Okay.
a women's
and,
team.
and Real Madrid just announced 2 days ago that they're gonna put
A
in
year from
a
now,
women's
correct.
team in a year or 2 years.
But Real Madrid is not
to
Italy, it's Spain, so,
that's why I'm saying, to his point, that Italy is very progressive.
Yeah.
They're becoming progressive with this, in the sense that the women's team, it's the first time since 1991 that they make it past this point. And I agree with you, Ludo, that this team is transmitting so much passion. It's the first time since 2006 that we have an Italian team out of the group
Correct.
stage.
But now, Marco, what needs to change also is the marketing. These girls should be recognized by the Italian Federation as professionals.
Oh, absolutely.
Up to maybe a year ago, a couple of years ago, those girls had full-time jobs during the day,
Yeah.
and then in the evening they had to train.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Remember, there was a lot of suffering.
Yeah.
They were not getting paid. There was a lot of struggling going around, and to build this team and this let's say this
Culture.
idea,
Right.
this culture around, it took a lot of work. And now this is a great group of girls, thanks to Milena Bartolini, the mister, the Italian, the commissario tecnico of the Italian national team, and also the federation, that they're doing a great job.
I agree
and
with
of
you.
course,
Wait,
the TV step
I
in.
will
Now
say-
we need sponsors.
I
we
will
need
say
sponsors.
that,
We need to market the.
One second,
will say
just to add on top of that,
to
it's
add
really
what Ludo
good.
just said, I think they are looking at the Italian, I mean, at the American girls in the soccer, and they are
They're
actually
phenomenal.
listen to me, and they are actually not copying, but they said, hey, look, the Americans
Follow the model.
They are fighting to
But
become professional.
You know
and
what's funny about that?
Yeah.
But America is one of the few countries where, let's say, for example, wealthy to do countries
Right.
that do not subsidize their MLS teams with women's team. The NWSL
separate?
are separate,
Oh,
and they're not so profitable, not so up and going. It's a lot better to play. A lot of the American women's team player members went to go play in Italy and in France, Lyon,
money.
in Spain to get a better salary
But now,
because they're
Pete,
subsidized by a team.
but now-
so US soccer, yes, the women in the national team have been great, but there hasn't been a good enough league for them,
But
and that's
they are
unfair.
leading the fight to get.
Well,
all of
they're
those-
leading the fight because women's soccer here has been something that has been around for a long, long time
Okay,
compared
but
to other.
remember-
Remember,
getting back to his point.
In this country, in youth soccer, there are more girls playing youth soccer than boys in this country. In Italy now, hopefully it's going to start to change.
Yeah.
And I sincerely hope that after the lights go off, after the Women's World Cup, that these girls will not be forgotten. And now the federation has to step in and create something positive for these girls and give them appropriate salaries,
Absolutely.
appropriate venues, and give them what they deserve in order to build on what's been happening.
And that's what's so great about the World Cup. It puts the women's teams,
On
the
stage
Italian
for the
national
world.
team, on the platform
For
where
everyone
they
to
can show up and succeed. So now everyone, the team, is supported by the whole country. Everyone is supporting them.
Correct.
We're all going for the Italy women national team to be able to go on to the
Peter,
next round
let's
to
not
win.
forget what it
But
took
now,
to get here.
Yeah. But now
the
it's
years of hard
course.
work behind the scenes, the crying, the suffering of these
yeah.
girls.
To get back to his point,
I'm not.
Australians who are in our group and who are ranked higher do not allow their players to play in the Italian league because they say that the Italian league is not good enough. So for us to knock out, I mean, we didn't knock out Australia, but we beat Australia and they're out and, Italy's still in. I think it says a lot. And I think that Ludovico is right that there's a lot of behind the scenes that now we're starting to learn and realize. And I think there's some incredible talent. And I think that to me, it's just, I got that World Cup fever and I'm happy that they're giving me this passion to
Agree,
watch
Marco,
it.
but remember, it all starts in the locker room. Great group of girls.
Yeah.
Regardless if you play a minute or 90 minutes,
Yeah.
everybody,
Yeah, the Macarena.
everybody going for the same, trying to reach the same goal. Everyone is on the same page here that they want to change something, and it starts now.
And they got a good
let's hope it's gonna
philosophy.
continue.
They attack. They play a lot like
They play
Mancini's
attractive
team, the
football.
4-3-3, where the midfield possesses the ball, and I think that we've been really
So
good.
far,
and
the people are responding. The Italian TV, the spectators are responding. Over 4 million spectators
Yeah.
against
It
Brazil.
had more views than the
They're
than the
responding now. Let's
Italian
hope
than
continue.
the men's. It had more views than the men's game and also the U21 game. One of Italy's games. I don't remember.
What
exactly
scares me is
but
when the
either way.
lights go off. When the World Cup ends, what's going to happen with these girls? I sincerely hope that I will be proven wrong and something positive can come out of here. But again, it has to start from the federation and the sponsors and trying to build something so these girls can earn a decent salary and become real professional and be recognized for the work that they did, and not to be forgotten, because after 1 month, everything is going to be, everything's going to go back in the basement, and that's it. It's over. And let's
From my
continue with
understanding, the
Wait a
Netherlands
moment,
are a
Marco.
really good team, and let's hope that Italy's able to go and
Marco.
take on Netherlands. Buffon's back at Juventus. Buffon's going back to Juventus. What do you think about that, Antonio?
I think it's a great
Let's
idea.
get heated about something
Oh,
else.
they should keep him every day on the goalkeeping net, so he can make as many mistakes as we need. So
He's not Donnarumma. Let's not get too crazy.
No. Well, that's because it's not Donnarumma. He should be playing every game. And then maybe you should give the chance to other teams.
I
like
don't-
Napoli,
I don't
Napoli
agree.
to score
I don't,
few goals.
So I let me just give context. It seems like it's not done yet, but the reports are saying that Juventus are set to bring Buffon back for another year, take a role as second keeper, where Perin would likely be moving on to Roma or something like that, and to be more of a presence in the locker room, and then move on to a managerial role. I just want to say, everybody at this table, remember a year ago, except Ludovico, because Ludovico wasn't here. Remember I was saying that Buffon had 2 to 3 years at the top level? I think that this is a great story of never giving up. Buffon he never took the paycheck to go to China. And actually, I saw that you said the same thing. You said that you were happy. I remember you saying that you were happy he didn't do
Peter's
that.
about to pounce on you.
That's fine. Peter could pounce when he wants. And he never took that, even at 35 years old, he was 40 years old, and he still went to play in the Champions League and play at the highest level and proved how important he was. And now he gets to move back to the club that pushed him out and didn't get him, and now he's getting a role back. I think Juventus is making up for a mistake that they made by letting go of Buffon. And I'm happy, and it's a great story of inspiration, and I'm very happy that Buffon is back.
All right, let's just put a little enlargement lens on this move over here, because you guys are on the clouds over
I'm the only one who's spoken so far.
Okay, so let's put this
Nobody else has said anything.
Let's put this in perspective, okay? So
Put it into perspective.
Buffon comes back. Do you actually think he's going to get time into the playing time? He's not going to.
He's not going to be the first choice. He's going to be second choice, but he's going to get playing
Let me
time.
finish. Like Marco said, he's going to be into managerial roles, like him and Barzagli.
No, that's I didn't say that. I said
After.
after. A year after. A year after.
For him is just to show him, okay, we still value you as a goalkeeper and things like that.
That's not true, but
technically, he's not going to get to play that much.
okay. What's your next point?
It's not just. It's not. I hope they don't do what they did to Totti, that idiot of Spalletti. So this other idiot, this other imbecile that you got over there, Sarri.
Okay.
He might do the same thing, because Sarri is one of the.
They say
idiots.
actually Sarri is
Two
the one who
different
wanted to
things.
bring
Sarri-
Buffon back.
Sarri, okay, is dumber than a brick. If you want him to
Ludovico's
give him
about
my
to jump
opinion.
over the table.
No, I don't care about Ludovico's opinion. This is my
Oh
opinion.
my God!
To me, that guy is dumber than a brick, and I'll tell you the reasons why. His philosophy is to use his 12, 13 favorite players, and if Buffon doesn't even follows into that category, Buffon he's not going to get the play, so he's going to
I hope he doesn't follow the 13 players.
He's going to be benched.
Doesn't have
Okay, Peter. Sorry.
So
I
this
thought you
whole
were
thing
finished.
here is just only a PR stunt.
Okay.
That Buffon is coming back. He's going to be back in 1 year playing. He's not going to get the play. He's going to just be over there.
Okay.
Just be the babysitter of all the lockers room, and it's going to be the go by between Agnelli, the lapdog, and Sarri. End of the story.
my favorite
Okay,
word now.
very
The
good.
story.
What do you think, Ludo?
I actually disagree. I totally disagree.
So he's not
and,
dumb as a brick?
No. I don't believe in when you warm up the minestrone. I believe that when you make the minestrone, you have to eat it hot. When you put it in the refrigerator and
as
you warm
good.
it up,
Not as
it's not going to be as good anymore. That's my opinion. But number one, Buffon was at PSG. PSG offered him the same thing what Juventus is willing to offer now, to be a backup. And he refused, and he left. He refused the contract. No concrete offers came from Buffon in Europe for him to be a starter in any other team, number two.
Porto.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't think so. It's probably fake news, or it's probably
Thank you.
something right.
I like that.
Number
Fake
three, now you accept.
Good job, Infetti.
Now you accept a contract with a team that's going to sit you on the bench because they promised the Polish goalkeeper to be a starter, and now you're going to sit on the bench and you refuse the same offer from PSG, and you did not get concrete offers from all over Europe. You at a certain age. Why would you want to finish off your career like that and not finish it at a high note? You were PSG, you were the starter, you were the Champions League starter, you started in the League One. Now they didn't offer you a contract, you're 41 years old. That's it, done. I just think it's not the right move for Buffon to finish off this way.
Peter, what do you think about his move back to Juventus?
No, it's a political thing more than anything else. I think what it is with Juventus, I think Perin wants out. Perin doesn't want to be the second goalkeeper. And from last year, I don't understand why he would ever agree to go to Juventus knowing that Szczesny is going to be there. That's Perin's point. Now, Buffon...
Well, it's the money.
Yeah, the money. But
don't-
come on,
don't-
you're
right.
20. You're
Because-
27 years
But
old.
Ludo, there's
we
a
said
image
this.
too.
You're
There's a
27-year-old.
I believe we spoke about this in a podcast. I believe a year and a half ago, where Perin is basically was the starting goalkeeper for Genoa, I believe.
Yeah.
He was getting a certain amount of money. Juventus tripled his salary, and now he became the backup goalkeeper of Juventus. And let's not forget that Perin was also part of
the national team.
of the one of the
Yes.
three goalkeepers. Why would you accept to be the backup to the?
Why
to the
would
Juventus?
you?
Money.
But that doesn't make any sense. Buffon right now, I think he realized what level he is at. I think he can still perform at a high level, but he's not what he used to be. So Buffon has to make a choice where he says, you know what? I'll go to Juventus. They love me there. I'll have a job after where I could work in management, and we have a real chance to win Champions League, the one trophy I have never won. So that's what I think it is about. And in the case that Szczesny gets injured or someone else, Juventus feels comfortable enough to say we have Buffon, who is probably one of the best, if not the best, goalkeeper ever to play.
Mike, what do you think?
I think you're exaggerating.
Mike, what do you think?
This is
Wow,
great.
who's better?
Buffon gets a last chance. We know how quality he is. He's going to be number 2. He's not going to be bothering Szczesny, which Szczesny's been
He'll
doing
probably replay Coppa Italia.
fantastic.
Oh.
Yeah,
He'll probably
We'll
start
see.
Coppa
We'll
Italia.
see.
Or the Trofeo Berlusconi.
But I think it's a
You
good
like
move,
that one.
and he's
You like that one.
gonna be the management for Juve. So job security for him right after he retires.
I think that just like everybody, I think that Ludovico and Antonio, I think you guys both missed the mark. I think Ludovico, you're often right about these kind of things, but I think that this one you're completely wrong about, because I think that this is the top. This is the top that you could finish off. I don't agree that this is a bad way to finish off. I think that this is how the best ever in his position finishes off at the top level. You know, he wasn't 33 years old and took a paycheck to go to America or to go to China. He said, I'm going to still compete at the highest of levels.
Well, he went to
and
PSG
he's still
for 10
competing
million a year. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Well,
they just did not want
and was still
they-
playing in the Champions
In the
League.
Champions
And was still
League.
playing in the
You guys-
Champions League.
But they
And
did
was-
not renew his contract.
And he could have made 30 million.
They did
Yes.
not renew his contract because
But he
the-
could have
the-
played
the
at Porto.
goalkeeper
He could
is
have went to
ben-
go. He could have went to play at Porto.
I don't think Porto. Let's not.
They don't have
let's not
Casillas.
forget. Well, let's not forget that these newspapers. It's
Okay, but either way,
and they have to sell
let's agree.
newspapers.
Let's agree that he had no other offers. He's still 42 years old, turning 43.
Okay.
And he's still, and I don't agree with either of you that he's only going to be playing
Of
Coppa
course, you're a
Italia.
Juventus fan.
No, and I think that I was proven right last year when I said that he still could play at the highest of levels. That was proven this year as he was playing in the number 1 competition over Areola, who everyone will say how good Areola is. 40 years old, 41 years old, was still starting over him in Champions League. And now he moves his move back and still has a chance at the Champions
Let's
League.
not forget what
This
happened in
is-
Champions League when they got eliminated.
this
Thank
is-
you.
The boo-boo
I
that
was
the
about to
Buffon
get
made.
there.
There's one
I was
mistake,
about to
though.
get over there.
Very good.
Thank you, Ludo.
One mistake at those levels can cost
But
you.
you're gonna-
It did cost them the Champions League.
I think that
Time will
once again, Buffon will prove that he's the best in the world and he's going out at the top level. Your buddy
don't know
Gigio
where you get that
Donnarumma is moving to PSG. Maybe. It's still not happening. We're getting ahead of ourselves. They're saying that he doesn't want to renew his contract. He's got 2 years left on his contract. He doesn't want to renew it. So Milan are going to have to sell at a lower price than they want. They wanted like 70, 80 million for him, but they're going to end up selling at 50 million, and they might get Areola in a deal back. PSG's backup goalkeeper. Maybe to Milan with 50 million valuation on
That'd be such a
Gigio
joke.
Donnarumma. What do you think, Mike?
He could be one of the best goalkeepers ever in history of football, and you're gonna give him away for only 50 million. Areola, which is
It might not. Wait, it might not be 50 million plus Areola.
How much was Kepa, bro? 70 million?
Yeah, but
come on, you're gonna sell.
I
Alisson
know.
was sold for 70.
But-
But Alisson's good.
No, I
But
think
Donnarumma,
I think that the point is to that because everyone was commenting
I
that.
think it was
but
a mistake
Milan
that
have to
PSG
sell
put
because
in.
Milan have to sell because he has 2 years left on his contract.
Yeah,
if
I
he
get
pulls
that.
that stunt again where he doesn't want to renew, he goes into his last year of his contract, and Milan are end up gonna get 0 for him. That's why.
Yeah, I get what
not
you're
that
saying.
not that he's worth not
It's
worth 75
it's
million.
more of a risk.
Hey,
for
see,
them
Milan
if they don't.
it doesn't want to sell it. They are forced to sell because they want to try to get a squad that is presentable on the pitch. That's it.
Oh, you guys not presentable?
Right now, we are looking to be a little bit more presentable.
But how do you feel about it? Donnarumma leaving.
I think it's for the right reason. Yes.
You don't mind?
You think 50 million?
Listen, I'll take it. Yeah. As long as it doesn't go to Juventus or al Napoli, I would like to see him in Napoli because
There's
you
too
want
many
him at
keep-
Napoli?
There's too many keepers over there. He's laughing like
I know. I just said it as a joke.
we have a play.
on
we have
your
a
dream.
goalkeeper.
Yeah, on your dream is better, okay. But that's only you. If you just go and just interview the entire Napoli City, you're going to see only Ludovico.
But no, that's not true. That was not true. That was not true.
That's true.
1.5 million people is going to be 1,499,999, except for him. By the way, it's not even Napoletano, it's a bootleg. It's
Well,
not
Milan,
How do you feel about it?
Milan is forced to sell. Milan is forced to sell because a lot of things are happening with UEFA. And my opinion is that Roma now they canceled their preseason at Pinzolo, and they're going to start in July 6th instead of starting July 29, because I think what's going to happen is Milan is going to accept a deal which will keep them 1 year out of Europa League, and they will have 1 extra year to balance their budget. So now, before Milan can buy, they need to sell.
This is not official, by the way.
Well, we're
This is
talking
not
about
official.
it's close.
But it's not
this
official.
is unofficial news. So now Milan needs to sell, but they do need an extra year in order to balance their budget. So UEFA will give that. So it's an agreement, a gentleman's agreement. That's what most likely will happen, and Roma will take Milan's place. Donnarumma, they can sell Donnarumma, and get with that money. You have Reina that could play goalkeeper for 1 year as a starter, and then you have the goalkeeper of the under 20
Plizzari,
national team, Plizzari, that can be under Reina for 1 year, and then he will become
Reina.
the starter.
Reina's
This is
a mentor too.
Reina's
This
not
is-
gonna-
this is what
if
I
they
see.
get Areola is going to be the starter. It's not going
I
to
don't
be
think
Reina.
I don't
get
think
Areola.
PSG will get rid of Areola. I think my opinion is
You don't think
the
they'll get rid of him,
Areola, the Areola of today and the Buffon that PSG got at 39, 40, 41 years old, comparing the two goalkeepers, to my opinion, Areola was better. I think PSG made a mistake in getting Buffon in and putting Areola on the bench. Again, it's my opinion.
Wait, but
Yeah.
the league, they switch competitions.
Yeah, Areola played in the league
In
that
the
they already
league.
won, and
Champions
Champions
League
League
for
Buffon played. But either way, I don't think that Milan are gonna keep Pepe Reina as their starter. I just can't see that happening. I think
Well,
Areola,
he has the contract. He has a $3 million a year contract.
Yeah,
I
to be
think,
a
for
backup.
another.
You're making
to
it
be a
seem like he's
backup.
Well, he could be. He could also.
he's
play
not a star. To me, he's not going to be the starter. I
Only
think that
for
they would.
Serie A?
I think that
Why
they'll
not
get,
only for Serie A?
Because I think that they're going to get Areola in the deal.
Yeah,
I think
but
that it makes sense.
Marco, even the keeper, the under 21, under 20.
Yeah, but he's not ready to
Plizzari.
start. He's not ready to start.
Maldini,
let me
don't
ask you a
forget,
question, though.
Maldini now is in a decision-making mode. Him and Boban. Those are the guys that they value you a lot.
I think
Youths.
Boban. I think Boban was. I think they got Boban because let's not forget that Boban, before he started working with Milan last week, he was working with UEFA, with the FIFA.
A little
So I
Alma
think,
Alma.
so I think it's they got Boban mostly to
to do PR.
well, it's not PR. It's to fill out the UEFA. So now you get to try to work out a some type of agreement that's beneficial to Milan. That's why I think Boban came in and he left his post at FIFA. So with Milan, he could give some of inside information on what's
Anto,
going to happen to Milan. But a decision should be made soon.
I would say Donnarumma and Romagnoli are probably the two top youngsters at Milan. If you had to sell one of them to make room, would you sell Donnarumma as the guy, or would you which one would you keep and which one would you sell? If you're getting the same
I
evaluation.
would keep them both, but if
I mean
to get the most money,
I would
I'll
sell Donnarumma.
definitely.
In a heartbeat.
yeah.
In a heartbeat. Whoo.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
You think it's easier to replace
Yes,
him as
I think
than
yes.
Romagnoli?
I think
I would agree with
you
that.
could always find a goalkeeper in the Serie A or in Europe. You have Reina that can play only in Serie A. He did pretty well in Napoli, even though we were not. Me personally, I was not that enthusiastic of Reina. Certain Sundays he was in, certain Sundays he was out.
Yeah.
He was not always
He's
consistent.
inconsistent.
Yeah.
He was inconsistent at Napoli. Now we have a great goalkeeper. We're happy and we hope he stays for the next 10, 15 years. And then I strongly believe in the under 20 goalkeeper with another year under his belt to be a backup in Serie A. He'll be ready to replace Reina once his contract
But
is
let
up.
me ask you guys something. I said, what makes you think that this deal is 100% done?
No,
Donnarumma
we
might
said
stay-
it's
didn't
not.
say that.
We said it.
Donnarumma might stay at AC Milan.
Just to say it again, Donnarumma is not on PSG. It's just they're saying that it's close or it might be
maybe.
happening.
They're trying
So
to work
if it
a
happens-
gentleman's agreement between the UEFA and Milan.
Speaking of center backs, we got huge news with Manolas. Mike is officially a Napoli fan after this. Manolas is on his way to Napoli, and LIGT is on his way to Juventus. Two, to me, huge, massive moves. And I think it's a summer of center backs because even Godin goes to Inter.
They
And
got
if-
the free transfer though.
And if we think about, the great, can you imagine Koulibaly and Manolas is going to be, if they keep Koulibaly and they have Manolas, it's going to be a
Great Wall of
brilliant-
Napoli, right?
Wow.
We in the tournament at one point we played Ludovico and we played Mike, so we got a little bit of a preview of how good you guys are going to be
We still
defensively.
need-
Only
we
on the
still need a
paper.
forward.
Only on the paper.
We still need a
No.
forward and a fullback.
But just to talk about the center backs, Mike, how do you feel about Manolas going to Napoli? Because you've been very adamant that you wanted him to leave Roma and you wanted him to play in Champions League and you wanted to play at a higher level than what he's been playing at.
Well, to be honest, I was nervous that I knew Manolas was going to leave Roma. He wasn't happy there. He wasn't satisfied. He seemed very frustrated. And them not making Champions League, I think, was a final straw. I was nervous that he was going to go to the Premier League or a different league. So I'm super thrilled that he's staying in the Serie A, going to Napoli, team that's going to be fighting for the Scudetto in the coming years, that's been fighting for Scudetto. And him and Koulibaly, he's actually going to get a center-back partner that not only Koulibaly wanted, but Manolas wanted. He had Fazio.
They
at
needed
Roma,
each other.
And Koulibaly had an Albiol over there, inferior center-backs. Now they're going to have an actual center-back partnership that's top class,
He's
I
right.
think. So it's going to be so interesting to
And
see.
you
I'm
guys got a
excited.
2-for-1 deal. You got Manolas and you got Mike. You got them
Correct.
both in.
Well, Roma needs to sell.
Manolas
Roma.
is not as good as you guys
Yeah,
are talking
yes.
about.
Oh,
Manolas
come on.
made tremendous mistakes.
Keep going.
Musacchio over there.
Ludo, how do you feel about that?
It's not a great deal. If
Are you
went
crazy?
to a company
34
sold-
million?
My friend.
cheap that is.
My friend, when listen, when the fox cannot reach the grape, you know what it says?
What?
It's sour.
That is a good
So
one.
he's saying because you have Musacchio, you're mad.
When the fox cannot reach the grapes, it's sour.
Say something, Anto.
You know what? I like it. Listen, which day is today?
The 26th of June?
We're gonna see when the championship starts.
Okay.
Well, everything is online. Nothing is
No,
going
no, no,
nothing
we're
is
gonna
going to
see-
disappear. All the
We're gonna see what
podcasts
kind
they're
of a
going to be.
grape. We're gonna see what kind of a grape is gonna be up there. Let's see.
We'll see
We
if
hope.
it's sour or
No,
sweet.
Roma,
We'll see.
Roma needs to sell. Roma, after Di Francesco was let go, and well, it all started last year from the beginning of the this, and we were speaking with Peter an hour ago while we were enjoying a nice cigar in front of my house. We were saying that
No invite? No
that
invite?
Bad
Roma
faith.
needs to sell their players in order to get the cash in order to buy some players, and players that they bought last summer, they were not adequate to what Di Francesco was asking. He asked for 4 or 5 players, he received 0. Then whatever happened with Monchi,
Monchi.
whatever happened, then Di Francesco left. So now Roma is in a complete restructure. So they need to get rid of the big salaries. They need to get rid of the big players like De Rossi, already gone. Dzeko will be leaving. Manolas, all these players that have the big salaries, they need to leave. They need to get the money in order for them to buy additional
And rebuild.
and rebuild. So Roma is in a rebuilding process, basically from scratch. They're dumping all their big salaries and all the
Ludovico,
players.
they've been doing this for a long time. They dumped Salas. They dumped the goalkeeper.
Alisson,
Strootman.
Yeah.
They dumped Nainggolan.
Emerson.
They dumped
Yeah.
Emerson.
It's the
Rudiger.
debts that they
And
never were able
we could
to
keep naming
recover
them
from
all.
the
It's
debts that
crazy.
they were that
this
they inherited.
Pallotta came on board. I think it's about business. No, even Totti now has been sacked.
It hasn't been good business.
This is very bad.
Well, it hasn't been Totti. We all know it was Totti was not. See, sometimes a great player does not mean that he automatically will be a great manager.
Yeah,
That
but I
doesn't
think
mean
it- I
look
think it
how
was a
many
different-
years
it was a
Maldini was out of
Yeah,
of
but
Milan.
this is a different situation. This is not seeing eye to eye with the
agreeing.
ownership.
Well,
not so
I
much
think
that
Roma
he-
did
he
not
failed.
believe that Totti was qualified enough.
They
They had
weren't
to keep
asking
him.
him.
They had to keep him because he's the 8th king of Rome, very important to the fans. So they had to keep him, and they say, okay, stay in the corner. If we need you, we call you.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
That's
stay in the corner,
exactly-
sit there.
Yeah.
and
That's
don't
exactly
move.
what
So
happened.
Roma did not believe he was qualified enough to have those, to make certain decisions. Pallotta strongly believes in Baldini. That's his right-hand man. But Totti is right in a lot of things. But remember, not all the players. Antonioni was out of Fiorentina for such a long time. Maldini was not part of Milan. He just came back. Leschi was out for so many years. So there, sometimes these figures inside the club can.
Well, I think also you're afraid of the. A lot of the clubs might be afraid of the popularity. For example,
Correct.
in Rome, right? I think a lot of people, if you had Totti and then Roma, the actual team, a lot of people will go with Totti, right? Then Roma, the team, because Totti is that. You know what I'm saying?
You have a president who's not present all the time.
So right now, no one
in Roma.
Exactly.
So the news that he receives in Boston or in London, it's not precise 100%. He probably only hears what happens 1% on a daily basis compared to the whole story.
But
so that's.
I think, but going back to now Manolas, right?
yeah.
Manolas going to Napoli makes Napoli now have a younger addition, in place of Albiol, who Albiol I think served his purpose at Napoli. He wasn't.
He wanted to go back home.
He wasn't the best defender there. Koulibaly obviously outshined him, but now you have Manolas, who I think is just as fast as Koulibaly. He's just
Faster. But not as strong.
He's 28, right? He's 28, 29.
28.
Yeah, but
He's 28.
for a
30,
defender,
31,
that's a great. You can
33.
get a great 3 years.
Absolutely.
Out of the
Without a
defender,
doubt.
3-4 years.
Easy.
No, he's a
top.
bit of fullback.
He's top.
Yeah.
Easy.
And
So
a
I mean,
forward.
he's got one of the physical presence. He's fast. I think
He's Greek.
Him and Koulibaly would make
And he
great.
has a lot to learn.
Yeah,
Great.
he does.
Next to the master.
He does.
Yeah.
He needs it. Like I agree with De Laurentiis. He needs to get his character straight.
But also-
that's a problem with Manolas.
Well, that locker room
He's
is
very
very correct.
emotional.
Yeah,
where
but-
he has it is. Manolas has always been that player that when he's on his game, to me, he's one of the best. He's one of the best center backs. But he has that mentality that he switches off a lot of times, and you agree with this
Yeah, he does,
because I know
yeah.
we talked about this
He's
a
a little
lot.
bit of a hothead, but
He is a hot.
I think it's mostly the frustration.
You can't blame
of-
the surroundings around you.
No, I'm
Happened
not, but
at
I'm
Greece.
just
He got
saying-
excluded from Greece.
But I'm just saying that's a different
been
scenario.
excluded from Greece?
Yeah.
That's a different scenario.
not Greece, the
though.
country, the Greek team in the last
That's a
game.
different
That makes a lot of
scenario.
sense.
But,
So it happened in two different scenarios. But to give credit to you to Napoli, I'm so happy with what Napoli's doing. I think that they needed a player like this. To me, they're getting a steal, 34 million.
Yeah, but also the
and on
prices
top
are
of this, they're getting 18 million for Diawara. That's a great deal. It's a great deal, and I think that
Correct.
they're doing good business. They have James, who hopefully
And now Roma has 20 million to spend.
Okay.
After June, remember, certain players they have to sell before June 30th in order for them to actually purchase other players starting July 1st.
right.
I'm
This is
happy.
why a lot of these deals they're going to go through before July 1st.
I'm
they
very,
have to go through.
I'm very happy with what Napoli is doing, and I hope they're able to close for James. And I think that they're getting those right pieces that they
Correct.
needed to really build a nice team. And I agree with the
Believe
vision.
the character
I
issue
really
was
do.
addressed. Believe me, it was addressed. I mean, he knows
Yeah.
that there's a solid locker room in Napoli where nothing leaks out. Everyone has a role in the locker room. You have their leaders, and he has to follow.
They've got everything to do to have a brilliant season, I think, and he's backing his.
Now let's hope
his
we get
words
the
with
right
actions.
forward, and we get a fullback.
I agree.
That's what we need.
You need a forward?
Speaking of the fullback, De Ligt is going.
Oh, easy.
De
my
Ligt.
God.
De Ligt
was that?
might be. Is it my water bottle?
Your water bottle.
Yeah. Speaking about water bottles, De Ligt is on his way to Juventus, most likely. Somehow, Barcelona and PSG were both not able to close a deal for who was supposed to be the summer signing.
Well, I think I know how.
What about Neymar?
Mr.
No,
Mino
we're not talking
Raiola.
about Neymar. For De Ligt, the 19-year-old from Ajax, who all of Europe has wanted, and according to the reports, he agreed a deal to join Juventus, and Ajax need to find an agreement on the price, and De Ligt might be joining Juventus. I think that this is a massive move in many senses. I think that center backs are becoming harder and harder to find. I think that we've seen that with Milan getting Romagnoli, Inter getting Skriniar, even Koulibaly and Napoli. And I think Juventus, besides Chiellini, they haven't been able to really find that center back. They tried Rugani, they tried a few different players that were never really good enough to be there. And I think that was a weak role. And by signing De Ligt, this 19-year-old who has the potential to become one of the best center backs in Europe, he's already a leader. He's a captain of that Ajax. I think it's a massive play in terms of the future of Juve's backline, because replacing Chiellini, I think, is going to be a really hard feat for them. And I think also just beating out Barcelona and PSG, who are that big competition who you're never really able to compete with financially, it's a signal. And that little agent Ronaldo who told him, we want you to bring to Juventus, it worked out.
Juventus always buys players that score on them in Champions League.
Yeah, yeah, so true. Ronaldo last year.
Number two is Chiellini, you know, he's a great defender, but age-wise, he's already there, and he had a couple of injuries last season. So Juventus is looking towards the future, and to spend this kind of money on a young defender, you will have somebody really solid for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years in your squad. So they are looking towards the future. Remember, a great team will always plan ahead of time. A great club will not only see the upcoming season, they will always see what's going to be the next 2, 3 years, 4 years down the road. Because remember, it's easy to get here, but it's hard to stay here.
Yeah.
So that's where the work comes in. So you want to get here, but you want to stay here. And programming and programming the right way enables you to be competitive in Europe, and that's Juventus' goal. So I think it's a great signing. He's worth 75 million euros. Without a doubt, he's young, he's solid, he's experienced, and he's the type of player that Juventus/Sarri are looking for.
And isn't it? It's very interesting because I remember when Juventus played Ajax, and Ronaldo. It was either Ronaldo or Chiellini were missing. You know, people said, "Oh, you know, we'll see when Juventus play without Ronaldo." But to me, Juventus, you've always seen how bad Juventus are when they're without Chiellini. When it was Bonucci-Rugani partnership,
Rugani, told respect with Rugani, but he's not DeLicht. He's not that.
No. He's
close.
by
Not
far
even close.
You can't even say their names together. And I think that's a real Achilles heel for Juventus, and they might be solving that problem if they get there.
Yeah, I mean, getting the league, you're getting a top player that's played at a high level within Champions League. He's a defender that is not only a shutdown defender, but also has a lot of goals. He scores a lot of goals in corner kicks, and he's a very physical threat in the area.
Too.
So I mean, young age, play with the Ajax team. Yes, you spend a little bit extra money. The 75 million range
what you're
is
getting.
high, but look at Van Dijk. Look at these other
Yeah.
guys where they had a hype, but they end up proving their value. The only thing is the salary. I think they're looking at a $12 million a year, so that is a big salary. So with financial fair play, it's going to be something to see.
Not Juventus. I don't think Juventus has that problem with the financial.
They're not going to
it
be
should
making that other huge
But
sign.
here's one thing, and just to put it out there. So now you get DeLicht. He's got to start, right?
Yeah.
Who's
100%.
Bonucci sitting down?
Bonucci, yeah.
Bonucci definitely has this.
No, I think that's going to be pretty obvious. You've always only seen the best of Bonucci when he's next to Chiellini.
I wonder if.
And he was proving that at Milan, and he was proving that when Chiellini was not
I wonder
around.
how quick he'll be implemented. If Bonucci will start the first few games and then maybe slowly ease in, or is he gonna immediately jump in with Chiellini?
the thing that DeLicht kept saying was, "I'm only going to go to a team where I can play and I can develop." He said, "I believe young players." He's been playing since he was 16 at Ajax. So to think that he's a captain
You're
at
not going to
19,
spend 75, 80 million if
to
you
put him
can
on the
set
bench.
someone
Ciao,
like that
Bonucci.
yeah,
He'll
on
be
the
on the
bench
bench.
without
and then
a doubt.
Chiellini, like we said, he has his injury
Well,
problems,
correct.
and they will switch between that.
Juventus cannot. I mean, Chiellini can only guarantee you a certain amount of games at a high level, and maybe the important games you do want the Chiellini in there because of his experience. And if you try to keep him healthy for the important matches where you need that physical and a character presence on the field, but Chiellini in Serie A.
Yeah, you might not even need to use it. I agree with you. And I think that, to me, this summer, I think that it's probably the best signing that Juventus could have made would be DeLicht. I think that, yes, their midfield, they're trying to get whoever they could get, but this DeLicht is a very hard player to replace. You could find plenty of really good midfielders, but finding a defender at that age is extremely difficult. Let's see if it goes through, because of course there's still PSG that's trying to get in the deal. But if it does happen, I think that it will be.
I think the Juventus player that needs to really upgrade his game or change his game 360 is Pjanic, because if Juventus will keep that player, that most likely he will remain and he will play in that center role. Pjanic is going to go from touching maybe 50, 60 balls a game to touching 125, 115 balls a game because everything has to go through him.
Yeah.
He has to be
The Jorginho.
correct.
Yeah, I think that's the role that he's trying to
So
adapt.
that's you. He has to make and hope Sadi can help him to make that type of transition and turn him into that kind of player. That's what I think will be the hardest
thing for them.
for Sarri to do, and also to give Dybala a proper spot on the field, which I think, I said this a couple of weeks ago, the only coach that can really turn things around with Dybala. Let's remember, he's 25 years old. He doesn't even start
might
for
even-
Argentina.
26.
26. He played a couple of minutes for Argentina.
Well, he did really good when he came in the other day. He did really good.
I think
What do
in
you
the
mean, he got the
Sarri,
assist?
in the Sarri style of play, the Dybala behind the forward, like receiving the ball to the back of the from the goalkeeper, checking in and distributing the balls and leaving him in the last 30 yards of the field. That I see the best spot for Dybala. And if Sarri is not able to do that, or is not willing to become that type of player
Sarri
the way
out.
Sarri
No.
wants,
He's gonna bench him.
oh, without a doubt. No, listen, Sarri.
And he's never gonna use him. If he misses the first game, he doesn't
That's
get
not
the game.
true.
If he
That's
doesn't
not
get
true.
it, the first
No,
game,
that's
he
not
will be
true.
benched forever.
You're
That's not
holding that in.
Sarri's mentality, right?
Sarri's
Well, Allegri
practices
did the
are
same thing.
specific. Sarri is the first coach probably in Europe that used drones to
Really?
run the practices. Absolutely.
Drones?
Sarri- listen,
Drones or drones?
Sarri made Mertens a falso nueve that nobody would ever think of putting Mertens in
Maestro.
that position. That's
And
those are- those-
Ancelotti made
some smart bricks.
Insigne the forward. How's that?
Well, how's that? Because now we're going to get into
No.
the
Let's get it.
Don't get too high on Sarri. Okay, the only thing that you can get, the only way Sarri can get high
Hadi.
if he smokes something.
Well, he smokes. He said today he smokes
Okay,
60
that's the only way.
He
60
smokes 60
cigarettes a day.
cigarettes a day.
That tells you that the guy is not comfortable. That tells you that the guy is not comfortable within himself. Okay, that guy doesn't
Kids do
sleep
not
at night.
smoke. Do
That
not
guy
smoke.
doesn't sleep at night. He gets
He's
the pressure.
24/7 soccer.
He gets.
Oh, that was a good comeback.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's 24/7
That was a
soccer.
good comeback. Wow.
Yeah, with 11 players out of 27.
But Juventus doesn't have
Okay,
11
okay.
players. Juventus has 24 players.
We're gonna count how many players he's gonna use.
He's going to use all of
We're
them.
gonna count it.
He will use all of them.
All right.
Peter, how do you feel about Inter's Mercato right now? They got what's his name, Mike? He's half Greek.
Lazzaro.
Valentino Lazaro.
Lazaro. Lukaku and Dzeko are in the works. Dzeko a lot closer than what Lukaku would be.
Yeah.
Lukaku, the figures are like 70 million.
Yeah,
which-
but
got
the
money.
way that
Over
they
3
want,
years.
Got money.
but the way that they want to get to it is very smart. If they're able to get a deal where they can do
You think
2
70
years,
million for him is smart?
but I'm saying if you can get 2 years
10
on
million euro
loan,
loan.
and then you pay the rest in the third year,
Pay
you
60
can.
million?
No, but you're splitting up 3 years worth of 60 million. It's 20 million.
not
is a
70
thing.
million
It's not
player.
not a
To me,
a
it's
lot.
Dzeko?
No,
No,
Lukaku.
Lukaku.
No,
Lukaku.
Lukaku.
That's another
not
much to
even
do with Rodriguez.
Lukaku's
They want
a
to get him
40
on a
million
loan
player.
and then
Yeah.
Lukaku,
I-
35, 40 million.
Listen,
I
It's
agree
no
with
more
you.
than
But
that.
either way, I wanted to hear your opinion on the Mercato, the plans.
No, the plans. Listen, I think stealing Sensi from Milan is a great move. Great move.
I don't even know who he is, to be honest with you.
It's all right.
Take
You'll
him.
see when he scores.
Take him.
Oh, Peter's with those comebacks today.
Piontek. So you got Sensi, the guy that I really want, Barella. Hopefully, we're able to just finish this deal, close it out. Whatever.
Milan's going to come in and steal him, right?
You see a lot of the Inter moves. They're giving away their younger players to be able to absorb, the budget really, and
Like
not make a
Zaniolo. Yeah,
big,
give
big
another
deal.
couple Zaniolo away. That'll be nice.
You know what it is?
Pinamonti.
Even when Inter,
Pinamonti.
the year that
Pinamonti,
Inter won the
player.
treble, we got Diego Milito and Thiago Motta giving up Destro and Bonucci. Destro was by far one of the best young strikers, and where did he? What did he turn out to be?
Bologna.
So like sometimes
Nada.
the youth
He did
players,
well in Rome.
but I'm
Nah,
trying to say
well in
what I'm
Rome.
trying to say is the youth players, yes, they're good. but you never know what's really gonna happen. Santon, whatever happened to him, he's supposed to be the next Maldini. So Bonucci ended up being a great player. But the thing is,
that was a band-aid.
But the thing is,
that was a band-aid.
No, but
because
it's not
they
even
won
a
the
band-
Champions League, and then the team
Exactly.
was not rebuilt.
Yes,
The
but
club
you're trying to
did not
say that
rebuild.
you're going to
but
win
the
the Champions League
No,
next year.
no. What I'm trying to say is,
Just trying to
for that year, it was because you wanted to win then. You wanted to win now, and that's it. You didn't care about what happened after, because it was also the tail end of the Inter's, cycle, bro. So
Thanks.
it was the 5 years you won everything, and then you were able to put the cherry on the top. And so you're able to get Dzeko, you're able to get somebody. Maybe you can push for a Scudetto now, and then within 5 years, yes, you might cry over a player, but
it evens out.
You do certain things as long as there's a project for it. So that's what I think.
Okay.
See, also what I'm not hearing, and I think there's something going on underneath. Like I usually say, "Uma." I don't hear any offers on the newspapers for Nainggolan and Icardi. But I strongly think Inter is working something silently with a club or two in order to sell these two players. Just like Real Madrid. See, Real Madrid, you don't read anything about
so
Real
true.
Madrid. Oh, they want to buy that guy. They want to buy that guy.
All
Boom,
of a
they
sudden.
announce it.
Yeah,
All of a
it's so
sudden,
true.
So you think-
we're announcing this player. Wow, with this company.
So you think
They just got him.
No, he's not part of
So you
it.
think
He doesn't
Messi's
want
coming to
it.
Inter?
Saying,
Who?
Messi.
who do you think are the two clubs?
No.
Which clubs?
Who do you think they are?
I don't know, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think they're Italian. They're
Icardi
Italian
can go to
clubs
Napoli.
because the salaries are very. The salaries are
Napoli can take
very
Icardi.
high.
Well, I think for Icardi, it's kind of weird because they say that Conte has said that he doesn't want Icardi part of his team. Wanda said she never got the call, but they reported that he called Wanda. He said, "Listen, you're not going to be part of the plans of the team." He wants Lautaro. He wants to bet on Dzeko. He wants to bet on Lukaku. Players who are going to give him everything are not going to create a problem in the locker room, which he feels like Icardi is gonna. And I think it is interesting to see what really does happen with Icardi if he does leave. But where can he go? Like they say, Manchester United was not interested in a swap deal with Lukaku, which to me I thought that would have been.
Wait a moment. Let me ask you something, Ludo. How many more years does Icardi have on the contract? One more?
No, it can't be one.
Two? So by next year, they're going to sell 100%. Or the guys are going to go on
Unless he
parameter
renews,
zero.
but
Well, I think me personally,
I would
I
give him
see,
$30
I
million.
see, I see Icardi in
Milan?
Atletico Madrid.
I'll
they
take
just
I would
spent
see-
130 million on
No,
Joao
I agree,
Felix.
but in the style of play of Simeone, I would see Icardi there.
But you're not saying that he's gonna go.
No, I don't. I'm not saying
You're
that
saying
he's
the
gonna.
player type he is.
Yes,
They just spent
Play type, I would see him
126
really,
million
for what?
on
Joao
Joao
Felix.
Joao
Felix.
Felix is Benfica,
Some 19-year-old.
Portuguese guy. He's
Yeah,
actually-
Yeah,
he
because
looks
you have
pretty
the
solid.
other Griezmann also going to
Yeah.
Barcelona, but it cannot be announced until.
Is this
July
Neymar
1st.
a done deal again back to Barcelona? Yes
Not
or no?
done, but I think they're
They're
trying
still
to.
early in the talks.
Yeah.
Fake news. It's all to fill the newspapers in the summer.
Okay, let's move on to comments, guys, that people sent us in. Let's go on our first one. The first one from Maria. They said, for Marco, do you think Juve need any more signings besides if they get Rabiot and De Ligt, especially in the midfield?
I think that you still need
Another 5 players.
one more player. Well, it depends also if you're saying Cancelo leaves. If Cancelo leaves, you need a right
Say
back.
Cancelo doesn't leave.
If Cancelo doesn't need, you need one more player. To me, the guy would be obviously Pogba is a dream, but I don't think
If
Pogba
that
can
doesn't
happen if you
happen?
get De Ligt. I would say De Beek, 35 million.
And if that
for a
doesn't happen?
fantastic, no, that's a guy. She asked me who would be the other signings. I think that you still need. You're getting Rabiot on a free transfer. Rabiot. Oh, by the way, Rabiot from PSG is going to leave on a free transfer. He's likely to join Juventus. They say that he's good. I don't know him too well. They tell me that he's technical.
Let's
that he
not
can
forget
play
about.
under-
Let's not forget about Chiesa also.
Chiesa,
But he's
I don't
a
think.
winger.
Well, if she's asking me personally, I would not get Chiesa. I would not get anybody
Just
in
what you
attack.
need, right?
I
Well,
would keep the
Sarri
attack.
wanted him in Napoli.
I would keep the attack exactly how it is. I would get Rabiot, De Ligt, and another center midfielder. To me,
Okay.
it would be Pogba, but it can be De Beek.
Okay, that's
Young
fair
kid.
enough. Next question from Salvatore. He said this. I like this question. He said, "Who will have the
It's got to
best?"
be Manolas.
No, yeah. Who will have the best defense next season? They just named 3 teams: Napoli, Juve, Inter.
Let's say in
Milan,
Inter's Godin, Van Dijk, De Vrij, and Skriniar.
Yeah.
Manolas and Koulibaly.
Koulibaly.
And we'll say
De Ligt.
De
Chiellini.
Ligt, Chiellini.
Who's going first? I'm not going. I'm going last.
Inter.
You want to add anything to it, or just strictly?
No, it's all. Remember, it's the midfield that wins or loses games. The midfield determines how much pressure the defense gets, and what happens in the offense. So it's not just the defense.
But we're saying on paper.
Antonio's going to be the only unbiased
You got Inter, you
one
got
here.
great goalkeeper, you got two center back.
Wait, don't say that. Don't say it yet. Don't say it yet.
I'm not going to take a position on anything because it's.
You hate them all.
Yeah, I play the fifth.
Since you're not biased with these, because
You're the only one who doesn't have a card in this.
Since it's not
Who
Milan,
is it?
Who do you think, honestly? Though?
None.
Don't be
Nobody.
biased.
Milan?
No, if you had to pick
nothing
one.
is going to change.
If you had to pick one,
Wait.
who's better though? Out of the three teams.
Out of the
defense?
three teams' defense, who do you think would be the best?
Milan.
Okay.
On paper, I would
Milan?
say I would say Napoli would have the better defense. Not because I'm a Napoli fan.
Me neither.
Based on the two center, the quality of the two center back,
strength, speed.
leadership, experience. Yes.
Napoli. I agree.
Napoli.
Marco?
Yeah, I say Zapata,
Napoli?
Musacchio, Milan.
Milan? Is he joking?
Right?
Anto?
And Romagnoli.
I think he's messing around with
That's
it.
okay.
You guys trying to tell me that Romagnoli's not the best?
Caldara.
It's okay.
But then Zapata go to Genoa.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just kidding. I was just.
Zapata went to Genoa.
I think, guys,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, he's
Obviously,
done.
he was sold for $1.50.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
He likes Zapata.
Wow. Basically for espresso, right?
Guys, wait, let me just make a point. Guys, now I'm talking to the cameras, guys. You see all of those losers that I'm surrounding myself? Those are people that they talk with money that never made. They just become so big when they're a club that spend millions and billions here. AC Milan is the only team that takes the young players and they put them on the field. Those guys, they lead 75 million.
Peperina is gonna be your starting keeper.
150 million. This
What
other
are you talking
guy,
about?
370 million. Another guy, 700 million. This other guy over there, 600 million. We don't need that shit. We just take the young guys, we put them on the field, and we develop them.
And where have you finished
then
in the
we
past
sell
few
Make sure
them.
they wear their
It doesn't
diapers.
matter. We'll take the high roles. You guys, so far, you spend all the money.
You guys spend more money than Inter.
Won anything. Nobody has won anything of here. What did
Let
you
me
win?
ask
The
Trofeo
Campionato?
Berlusconi.
Nothing.
Let me ask you something.
What did you win?
My
Let me
heart.
ask you
Answer
something.
my question. What did you win?
You spent 35 million on
What did you
Paquetá.
win?
You spent 35
What
million on
did you win?
Paquetá.
That's how much you
Nothing.
paid for
What
Manolas.
did
You
you win?
spent 70 million for two
What
players.
did you win?
The same amount of Milan
What
won.
did you win?
They won my heart.
See all of those guys? Zero. All zero. They all talk and no action.
But you
Actually, I
know
got
you did
40
spend
million
money,
more
though.
Champions League.
Milan.
So,
went on a
the
rant over
bottom
there.
line is you guys are investing on foreigners players.
What did Milan play?
Andre
make-
Andre Silva.
you
Andre
make
Silva.
them
What happened to
better.
Andre Silva?
You
How was
make
Andre
them
Silva?
better. You
Wasn't he
make them
40 million?
better.
Right? Anyway, yo, wait.
I
wait,
think
but
your
Mike,
best
where the hell
signing
do you
this
watch
year is
yourself?
Gianpaolo. I think the best signing
Yeah,
is
I agree.
Gianpaolo.
I agree.
Okay,
Mike.
next one. If Cancelo does leave Juve, who would be his replacement? Because I don't know any right backs that are decent.
Return of Dani
I heard
Alves.
Trippier, but I don't know that much about him.
no
Do you
way.
guys know anyone?
But why would you give away Cancelo?
They saying
Apparently
they're
they're
saying he's
saying
got
Man
locker room
City.
problems. I don't
He's
know.
got locker room problem.
I don't
No,
know.
the guy's got balls. He doesn't want to put up with the lapdog and the big gun upstairs.
Okay, what's the next question?
Okay. Why do you change subject immediately?
Because we all agree. I agree with you.
Oh, okay,
I
good.
agree.
Yo, this one's
I
actually
agree.
just for
I don't
you.
think you
For
should
me.
sell Cancelo.
Okay.
This one is from Kyrie. It says, for Antonio specifically, what defender, who's a better defender historically, Maldini or Baresi?
Two different
That's
positions.
two different positions.
Okay.
Maldini's it's a left back and Baresi is
You're
Well,
making a
Maldini
team. You
plays
can only
as a
choose
center.
one. Yo,
Well,
you're making a
Maldini-
team. You can only choose one. Who do you choose? Let's just make it simple.
They're both very excellent at that position. It's very hard to pick
Pick
them.
one.
Okay,
You have to
fine.
pick one. To
Pick
start
one,
your
let's go.
team, who do you
Baresi.
pick?
Baresi.
Oh,
Baresi is a leader. He was the leader of the Italian.
So Maldini's not a leader?
No,
It's his birthday today.
I know, but
Come on, pick him on your
I was
birthday.
forced to pick one. I was forced to pick one. For me, I said the two best players
Both
ever.
class,
It's
both
Maldini's
class.
birthday.
Oh, hey, happy
51,
birthday, Paolo. Happy
51,
birthday.
51st
right.
You see
birthday.
what I have to put up with, Paolo, with all of those losers over here? I'm sure.
You didn't even choose him. I would
I'm
choose
sure-
Maldini.
I'm sure you're going to surprise
But when
all
you
of
have
those losers.
when you have two equally strong players, one plays on the side and one plays in the middle. Of course, you always choose the one in the middle because the one in the middle is part of the spinal cord.
But Maldini also played center back too later on in his career.
No.
Hey,
Mike.
No.
What's
Peter,
the next
did he
one?
not?
Yeah.
It was part of the spinal cord.
It was a false center. False.
Mike,
false.
what's your
Okay,
left
last
fullback?
question. This is actually a very good one also. It's coming from me. I was always saying Inter is going to go second place and be competing with Juve, but Napoli are making some sick signings, and they're looking like they're on the up. who's gonna finish higher, Inter or Napoli? Whoever goes wants to.
It's so hard at this moment. We say at this moment.
Say those signings happen.
We'll assume Manolas and James go through, and we'll assume Dzeko goes through. I don't know if Lukaku is gonna go through.
What do you? That's tough.
And we'll say Barella too.
But now Napoli's signing some good players. It's looking tough.
The only thing that I would say Napoli if they still had Spalletti. If you still had Spalletti, I would say Napoli. The only effect is Conte is a great coach.
If you gotta go.
Well, you have a coach. Well, the first year, Ancelotti is over. Now he knows the players
better.
He knows the players better. Now he's well rounded. He knows basically it was the first year is always a learning year for a new coach that starts from scratch.
Not for Conte.
Well, but Conte is still the new coach of Milan. So you do have to. I mean, for Inter, I'm sorry. You do have to give him a little bit of time in order to adjust and get his points and his tactics and his way of playing across.
Okay.
So now, how long is that going to take? It's going to take a few months. Is it going to take 8 months? It's going to take a year.
He's a smart guy.
So
though.
based on the two aspects, Ancelotti, Napoli, and Milan, and Inter with Conte, my opinion would be Napoli second, Inter third.
Napoli,
still-
not being biased, right?
Yeah, look at Antonio. Antonio's
Conte's
the highest paid coach.
None of these coaches have a
if we're not gonna-
magic,
if we're gonna say-
magic wand. You got Inter you got Conte that inherited a team that the past year went through a lot of earthquakes, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of issues.
Wanda.
Now he's got to fix all these issues. He's got to create his style of play. He's got to get his point across. It takes time. They don't have the magic, boom, go on the field and play. The same way with Gianpaolo. You think Gianpaolo in Milan, right away you're going to see the same style of play that he did with Empoli or Sampdoria? It's not going to happen. It's going to take time.
Listen.
Everything takes time. You got to give him time.
Can we get a one-word answer?
No, wait. I'll tell you the straight answer.
Okay.
The question was,
Yes.
how do you go from point A to point B? Instead of
Basically.
a straight line, you guys going like this.
Wait, who's you guys? Only Ludovico's answer.
Here's the way I will answer.
Yeah.
The way both of you. Who do you think is going to come second or third, Inter or Juventus?
I know who you're gonna say.
I would just answer.
No.
No one said Juventus,
about
Inter or Napoli.
first, because you guys are built to be first.
No, absolutely
So are
not.
you guys.
No.
So with all the money
They got the
and
highest paid coach
signing
in the
that you're going to
league.
be doing, you telling me you're going to be settled for second
No.
or third place?
700
Hold it.
million.
I will take the freaking abonamento and throw it
No.
on the garbage.
Hold
Flush
on.
it on the toilet.
Now, give me 30 seconds.
Oh.
Now, with Sarri coming to Juventus, and Juventus basically revolutionizing its style of play. Remember, Juventus changed completely now. By getting Sarri, the playing philosophy, everything is changing. For that also needs time. And if Sarri doesn't get all his ducks in order at the right time or at the beginning,
love his
he has a
analogy.
chance now for for Inter and Napoli to
pounce.
really to take advantage
Yeah.
if things do
exactly
not
what you
fall into
said.
place right away. Now, these things can happen when coaches go to new teams because they want to get their own players, they want to get their point across. So now Juventus went basically the other side of the medal, the other side of the coin. They completely new style, completely new offensive style soccer, completely everything is new. Soup to nuts. And Sarri is it's going to take time. It's not going to
Listen.
happen overnight.
Okay, so you guys are on parallel lines where you're both
But I
saying
still
that there's going to
now,
be three-way.
If we put the roster of Juventus and we put the roster of Napoli and the roster of Inter, to my knowledge, Juventus still has the best roster in Italy to do away with the.
I disagree with you.
Wait.
We
Peter,
said
Peter.
Inter and Napoli. Who's
Peter.
gonna go ahead?
One word.
Quick.
One word. Just to start.
Honestly, though,
Well,
don't be
right now-
Just give me the word,
Okay.
and then you could give the explanation.
Abbiamo la
I say
bicicletta, adesso pedaliamo.
Napoli.
biased.
Napoli, okay.
because right now we haven't
Mourinho
finished.
mind games.
We haven't finished the transfer market. We don't even know who's coming.
He's coming,
we don't
me.
know.
So you're
We don't.
What's
we
he
don't.
doing? What's he
He
doing?
wanted to say first.
Hold on.
But he said, let me just play safe. That way.
No, it's
that's
not about.
fine. Antonio,
It's not about.
Antonio doesn't
It's
come
not
after
about.
me.
It's not about playing safe. It's about seeing what the team is right now, and Napoli this year finished how many points ahead of Inter? A lot, more than 10, maybe, right?
Something like that.
So Inter cannot now right away jump over with a new coach and everything, say, oh, we're going to overtake Napoli. Napoli's making some investments where they're buying some solid players. So the whole season is going to come across what the end of the transfer market looks like. What players does Inter actually get?
Okay.
Conte now definitely has an influence over this team and is able to bring this team to new heights. But if you look at the roster right now, like Ludo said, Juventus roster, you have to say, okay, they got to win. Napoli's roster right now, they should win. Inter third, Milan maybe 10th. Then let's see the other things.
One word: Inter or Napoli. Who's gonna finish higher? Forget about first, second, third, 10th. Who's gonna finish higher?
You have to put your house on
Michael, since he's not
that. I
ready.
don't know.
Just give me an answer.
I hate to say it, but I would say
Okay,
Inter.
I would say Inter too.
I was saying Inter before, like nothing,
they
but
are-
Napoli's, man, they're
Even
winning my
last year,
heart.
listen, even the major newspapers in Italy last year said
Fifth
that Napoli
place.
was going to finish fifth.
I
Not
also
even,
said that.
not even the major
If
newspapers.
Barella, listen to me.
I'm the major newspaper.
If they get Barella,
Did you answer?
If they get Barella,
Answer, come
and
on.
they get a couple of the players that they
700 million worth.
If they get in Barella, a couple out of those players, they're getting rid of this garbage.
Then it's...
I think on the paper, I think Inter can just really challenge Juventus.
I agree.
That's why I said once the transfer market is finished.
And they're paying Conte because Conte knows how to win in his first
Okay,
game. I agree with you.
I'm going now. I was gonna say Napoli, but I feel like Conte's such a good coach, man. I think Conte's just gonna edge it. He's gonna
That's why he's the highest paid. He's gonna be the highest paid coach in Serie A for a reason.
Like,
He does a really good
Napoli have a
job.
good squad, but Conte right now,
He's the guy.
But he
Conte-
wants the power.
And I think
That's what-
Conte is better
I'm
than
gonna have the
Sarri.
power.
I'm gonna inch you by a couple
Yeah,
points.
they can-
He's gonna have the power.
Conte is better than Sarri, not by little, by far.
Two different.
That's
He's like, I'm done explaining
Conte,
this.
he's better than
two
Sarri.
different coaches.
I am sorry.
Bring out the grappa. That's what I
I don't
need.
know what you got on the back of on your
Conte
pocket.
is a coach. Sarri is a maestro. Two different things.
You know,
There's only a few maestro in Europe.
yeah, okay.
Then there's
Maestro
coaches.
what?
Is Antonio one of them? I think that is
Okay.
By the way, Italy's U21 team. Sorry to damper the mood right now, but I forgot about that. What a disappointment from the Azzurini. They were playing in Italy. They were in a tough group, yeah, but it was all our fault. I know people want to blame. They say, oh, Romania and France, they played for a tie. You can't blame that. Italy had 1,000 shots, 32 shots actually, against Poland. They weren't able to score. Poland wins the game, and we let our future be tossed in the air, and we weren't able to control it. We did a brilliant job in the first game against Spain. Maybe it was a bad thing that we were able to win it like the way that we did. Disappointment. Gigi Di Biagio was a big question mark before going in. I think we all were very skeptical of him. He's gone now, and I think it's the right decision. But listen, at this age, it's a learning moment. I think that they all got a big kick in the ass. They thought to themselves that they could really win this. And if you don't really put in the work and you're not able to get the results, I think that's what happens.
It's a shame
Let's
too.
pick up on something before we leave. What do you think is going to happen with Chiesa? I like to see Chiesa staying in Florence.
Just anybody else about the U21?
just gonna say,
Anything?
The under
Just to
21.
see if-
Now,
and we'll end with that.
I little
What?
bit disagree with you, Marco. I don't think you can define an under 21 cycle with just one loss against Poland. I think the work has been put in the way like the under 20 with Nicolato. Biagio did put the work in, and let's not forget the main objective of the under 21. The under 21 is to feed
The national team.
The national team. And Di Biagio did feed quite a few players that then came down and helped the under 21. Now, yes, we wanted to win. We had talent. But now the talent comes from when clubs believe in their farm systems, building on their farm system, and let these young players to start in their club. Without that, you never will have an under 21. Now we have a strong under 20. A new cycle can be
about us?
started. They're thinking of bringing Ivane in or even promoting the coach of the under 20, Nicolato, to be the coach of under 21. In regards to Di Biagio, win or loss in the European 21, his cycle was over. His contract was going to end on June 30th. He was out either way, win or lose.
I think that his decision making was very, very questionable. The way that we started against Spain was a big disappointment. I hated that mentality. And once he switched and he moved from the 4-3-1 to the 4-3-3, and he put the players in the right positions where they were supposed to be, we dominated Spain. So I think that
I don't want to sound like a sour grape, and not because he plays for Napoli, but Italy was able to pull through in that game was because Fabian Ruiz went out and he was substituted at the end of the first half. Fabian Ruiz is the player that brings Spain, and the other guy that plays, the young guy, I can't forget his name, who plays for Real Madrid.
Ceballos.
Those two
Class,
are
right?
on a different. They're in a different level, just like Italy. Barella and Chiesa are on a different level than anybody else. Those two guys, and
we
Fabian
played
Ruiz
as a
did
much
not
better
play
team.
against Italy.
We played as a much better team.
But
than
look what
Spain.
Fabian Ruiz did against Poland.
Okay, we weren't able to do that
game
against Poland.
and watch what Fabian Ruiz did against Poland by himself. Great player, great baller, great feet, great technique, great Euro. Not
think-
because he
Nothing
plays
bad.
for Napoli.
Not because he plays for Napoli.
No.
You're raising his market value.
He's a baller. The guy is a baller.
Maestro.
He's a baller. Fabian Ruiz is a baller.
The way that it
You
started.
like Fabian Ruiz?
Love him. Love him. Great player. The same way I love Barella and I love Chiesa, that I think out of the under 21 group, Barella and Chiesa are a level higher than anybody else. That's my opinion.
I think the under 21s, yes, disappointed because they get kicked out in the group stage, but they lose on goal differential. You beat Spain, you beat Belgium. The Poland game is the game where you have 32 shots. You got to finish, one. Even a tie. All you needed was a tie. 1-1, you would have went through.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So
You can define a
it's
cycle
not to
based on
say,
one game.
it's a hard thing because it's one team advances, and the best of the second. So
Yeah, it's so strange.
no, but that's
We
what
didn't
it
even-
is.
we didn't even
That's-
qualify for the Olympics.
But that's what it is.
We
So the
didn't
thing
even
is,
qualify for the
a lot
Olympics.
of
Yeah,
these
it's
guys,
strange.
they played in Serie A, they played stuff. So we expected them to go on and win this thing because it was in Italy and the quality of
talent
players
was
that we
there.
had.
Absolutely.
No,
But
the team was.
one guy that didn't show up was Moise Keane. One guy that everybody loves, he did
play
terrible.
good.
He didn't do anything,
Yeah,
and then he had disciplinary problems in the third game, which led him not to.
And
start.
Zaniolo
So
with him.
So
No,
that's
it's disappointing. I agree.
the
I know.
disappointing part.
I do agree.
But the work was put
But
in.
even
The
our
players
fullbacks
did.
at times. I mean, we had Ajapong who couldn't make a cross to save his life. It made no sense. There were just changes that made no sense. Moise Keane was playing on like as a right wing at one point. It just okay. I agree with you guys, but I think that there's also a level where Di Biagio had to take a fault for it, and to me, he's shown not just on this occasion, but multiple occasions that he wasn't fit to keep this team.
I feel like one game shouldn't, like you guys were saying, shouldn't
But it
be-
does in a tournament.
Even though all three games they played well, they were just unlucky with Poland. They should have got 3-4 goals, but it didn't happen.
But it does in a tournament.
The attitude
I know,
was
the
there.
reality is that
the attitude was there.
Yeah, I
The
agree.
personality
Played well.
was
I
there.
agree.
talent,
I agree.
but it
But
wasn't
I think
enough.
that's more towards the credit of how good the players were then. And I think that Di Biagio was holding them back, if anything. And
Between the under 20, the girls, the under 21,
Yeah.
and the big national team, things are
and
changing.
U17s too, they did really well.
Things are changing.
100%,
You see
100%.
players playing with heart, passion. The work is being put in. Now all the clubs in Serie A have to get involved and have to invest in their youth, so we can
Youths.
continue. Youths, like
Youths.
our friend Pesce would say. Pesce would say, in order to continue this process in the
Instead
in
of
the
buying
future.
the elite, instead of buying all of those
Listen, I think that the philosophy of the Italian national team has been improving. What was your question, real quick, to end it?
No, my
about
question-
Chiesa?
Oh, about Chiesa. What do you think Chiesa should be playing the next
Well,
season?
Chiesa,
should stay at
very easy.
Fiorentina.
30 seconds. Chiesa wants to leave. You keep him, he will play. Next year, you sell him at $0. I mean, sells. He leaves.
His contract is only 1 year?
1 year. He has 1 year left at his contract.
Unless-
Now, if he really is going to put his foot down, You want to make 50 million? Otherwise, okay, I'll play with you. He plays one more year. He gives 150%, and then he leaves on a.
But listen, Commisso
Well,
is a businessman. Commisso is very smart. Commisso can just call him in his office and say, hey, by the way, Ludovico, Federico. I said, what do you want to do?
First of all, Federico will not show up.
Would you go left or would you go
Enrico
right?
will show up with a couple of agents.
It's all right. So
Trust
whether it shows up Enrico or shows up Federico, at some point, I think they're gonna make him a deal. They're gonna extend the contract, maybe 2-3 years. They're gonna show that they're willing to build the team to a certain level, at least to compete for on the UEFA League for the first year, Euro League. And then you'll see that Chiesa might stay, because Chiesa is not going to settle to go to Juventus and sit on the bench and just to shine in the shoes of Ronaldo, or maybe go to into another team where it's going to be a secondary role for him.
He wouldn't be at Inter.
I think the prior owners of Fiorentina already had promised him Juventus.
But
It
now
was
they're no
already-
longer the owner.
Then I understand that, but you also have to take in consideration the players' will. So now you sell them now, or you lose 50 million next year. What do you want to do?
Even more than 50
Your
million.
choice.
The same
Even
way
more
you
than
keep
50
Icardi. Icardi, okay, he could say no to any team. He's going to stay. Okay, you use me, you don't use me. But then in 2 years, you're not going to make a dime. I leave, you don't make a dime. And whatever money, no, the other team is not going to pay you because it's going to be on a zero transfer.
Again.
Because the contract is over.
But now what do you do? But I already responded to you. Right now, you're not dealing with Della Valle. You're dealing with Commisso. Commisso is a businessman. Commisso's got brain. Those guys, they got bricks into their heads.
Antonio.
Like who?
Commisso's got brain. Commisso is,
Antonio.
to negotiate and to make
Chi vivrà, vedrà.
Okay,
Vedrà.
We'll see.
I think Chiesa is going to stay.
Okay.
And they're going to extend the contract.
Okay,
Chi
guys.
vivrà, vedrà.
We had a great episode. That had to be one of our longest episodes ever. But
How
we
long
didn't
was this episode?
This had to be at like an hour and a half, right?
2.5 hours.
Jesus.
We might get a sleepover over here.
My wife is gonna throw me
we
out.
didn't do this.
Don't worry, you can sleep here.
Our last podcast was like a week and a half, 2 weeks, so we got most of it out. I think we explained everything well. And till the next one, hopefully we do the podcast soon. But yeah,
Do we have any sale, by the way?
4th of July sale is coming up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
4th of July sale, new products coming up.
Which new product
It's
we
coming,
have?
what's today? 26th, July 1st.
July 1st.
What do we have?
Wait, a lot of stuff. Check the website, ItalianFootballTV.com. Rate the podcast.
Good night,
5
guys.
stars. Ludovico,
stars.
David, come back.
Ciao.
We're talking soon.
Forza
Ciao, ragazzi.
Manolas, baby.
Buon calcio.
Minchia, fucking hot, man.
Minchia, fa caldo qua dentro. Minchia, i coglioni si sono azzeccati.